There are people in the investment industry who hold themselves to a higher standard. They are called CFA Charterholders. Demand the best. Demand a CFA Charterholder.
Assalamu alaikum. The EBM journey. From a loss-making enterprise losing 5,000 rupees a day in those times to now being one of the largest food companies in Pakistan and a local FMCG. Hence, yes, it is inspiring. The essence of the EBM journey over these more than 50 years is about sustaining the vision and the belief that EBM was born not just to succeed, but to lead. The story of optimism and potential of Pakistan. Many will recall the Pied Piper campaign. You may have been too young at that time, but most of the people in this country recall the Pied Piper campaign, which was a groundbreaking success in the national media back in that day, where the Pied Piper leads the children to the Valley of Joy. So it was never about just selling biscuits, which in those days was a tea time luxury. We are in the food business. It was about providing wholesome food between meals to the common man. It is about the growth of not just the category, but the business sector of Pakistan. The fundamental values were leadership, innovation, vitality, and humanity. So I believe EBM is significant not just because of its size and its reach, which is nearly every household. It's about the values it represents as a business leader and thought leader. It's about institution building. The problem solving and decision making in EBM is at every level. Now that's empowerment. That's what I call an example of developing leaders at all levels, and entrepreneurship, which is what we want the organization to own. Speaking about turning challenges into opportunities, I will give you an example of the COVID pandemic time, as the whole world can relate to it. So it was a time of crisis management for the senior team. Being in the food business, we were considered essential services. So well-being of the employees in a safe and healthy environment was our priority, while business continuity is ensured. So at a time when other businesses were laying off people, we were giving hardship allowances to our employees, ensuring job security for everyone in the business. Within actually a matter of 24 hours, our IT team with all the other supporting departments, they ensured work from home for every employee. Our focus is on a learning culture. And especially at this time, it provided an additional impetus and yet another example of creating opportunities from challenges. We accelerated our online learning initiatives, which we at EBM call the infinitum. My personal involvement with EBM over the last decade and the passion for EBM comes, of course, from my family gene. When my father started thinking about succession planning, he approached me and saw me as the one who would take his legacy forward. I must admit, I was reluctant for a few years, but I would say love for the family and Pakistan won over self. I joined EBM in 2010 as chair of the Executive Management Board, and subsequently the Board of Directors of EBM appointed me as the CEO MD in 2015. I was a medical professional, had done my MBBS and specialized in psychiatry, which was exciting for me at that time since it was the decade of the neurosciences. And I was fortunate to be in universities that were the hub of all the exciting developments taking place. I practiced very successfully before I ventured into enhancing the scope of my clinical practice to management and business of healthcare. I continued practice, but the responsibilities that I was offered involved having to manage and expand business. When I came to EBM, it was certainly not an easy ride by any means. For me, it was a new industry. I was venturing into this industry, the food industry, the consumer goods industry for the first time. I was getting into a family business. At EBM, a strong foundation, values, and successful products. But the challenges of any heritage brand, no matter how big, and company, is keeping it relevant and future-proofing it. The infusion of new thinking, new blood, new ways of working, and leveraging technology. Hence, yes, you can call it an organizational transformation. So, the essence of entrepreneurship, I think, is identifying opportunities. So the investments were in new categories, new channels, newer technology, R&D, a lot of investment in R&D, and most importantly, our people, the HR. And mashallah, by the grace of God, we have grown 4 times in this period while we continue on this hopefully lifelong journey. Our fundamental belief is in creating value for the larger good. We have been for the past over 50 years and continue to be a very socially responsible, philanthropic, and sustainable company. We call our philosophy NHLC, Nourishing Hearts, Lives, and Communities. Our sustainability framework focuses on 3 pillars: lifelong nourishment, enabling livelihoods, and environment. In lifelong nourishment, we continue to introduce new products that help address nutrition issues facing Pakistan. We partnered with a leading teaching institution on some breakthrough research on stunting and malnutrition in Pakistan. In our enabling livelihoods initiatives, our focus is on sustainable sourcing of materials. We are also, of course, very focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And lastly, in the environment initiatives, we work towards reducing our carbon footprint to improve our manufacturing and cost efficiencies. My message to the young leaders and professionals of the CFA Society included is that analysis, data sciences, analytics, technology, and their application to decision making in the traditional businesses and human experiences and creativity is the future. Whether it is investment decisions, business decisions, or life decisions. Shortcuts may have short-term gains and rewards, but human fundamentals remain the same, as does long-term success and fulfillment. So do the right things, believe in yourself, your potential, and have patience.